A very good afternoon. It is a privilege to be here today among learned scholars and masses, and I'm very nervous to be in front of everyone here because I'm quite new to this topic. Nevertheless, I'm here to present, representing my university, a nunnery which is in Mongar. Okay, today I'll be talking about the life of Gelongma Palmo. As everyone here might be knowing about her, but for those who might not to know about her, it might be a fruitful presentation. I hope you will take more information about her. Gelongma Palmo was the founder of the fasting ritual lineage, which is practiced widely in this world today. Okay, before I present my presentation, I would like to point out that I used some of the pictures that I found in Google, and I edited some so that it matches my presentation, and it didn't go accordingly to my plan, and I hope you guys might have a wonderful view, because I didn't want to bring in a boring session. I will try to make it interesting. Okay. Sometime in the 11th or 10th century, King Dharmapala and Queen Jamalhazi ruled the kingdom of Kashmir. The queen gave birth to a son called Indrabodhi. He was a very special child. He was loved by people because of his charismatic character. And when he turned 9, the queen gave birth to a daughter named Lemin Karcham, and she had the personality traits of a Dakini. And her beauty was talked about in all the neighboring countries and desired by many, including the kings from different kingdoms. But Lemin was different. She chose to follow the path of Dharma and refused the idea of marriage. She believed the present life directs where one would be born in their next life, and she also believed that the life is full of suffering, so if one does not work towards ending all those sufferings after attaining the precious human life, then the difficulty in attaining that life would have become meaningless. Therefore, the Princess Lemin only thought about practicing Dharma. She easily convinced her father and mother. The challenge was to convince her brother, that was then the king. At first, the king was very furious when she said she wanted to practice Dharma. But after listening to her purpose for practicing Dharma, he gave up his argument and gave her the permission to practice. And Lemin also expressed to the king that she wanted to study under the guidance of Lamjo Pegi, and she also requested the king to have one escort, and she chose her childhood friend, Sampalma. She was only 8 when she set out on a journey into the forest, and it is really hard for us, even as adults, to do that, and everyone here is an adult, and if you think about when you were 8, would you have been able to abandon everything and set on a journey like she did? I think it might be easier for some, but very hard for the rest. Lama Jopegi asked Lemin why she wanted to practice Dharma, and Lemin told Lama that she could no longer bear the sufferings of samsara. She requested Lama to teach her the path to liberation, and she was a girl of low intellect and little insight, so she requested Lama for a profound instructions in few words, but with great meaning. Lama took her in as his disciple, and she practiced under his guidance for 5 years. When she turned 12, her external wisdom was equal to her teacher, but her internal wisdom surpassed her teacher. She then received the first ordination from her teacher and was given the name Gelongma Palmo, Gelongma meaning an ordained nun. When Gelongma turned 15, her teacher told her that it was time for her to leave, and he suggested that she become a head of a monastery in a different region. Gelongma accepted and then became the head of the monastery in a place called Bikshir Tsulakang. At the age of 25, a small bump appeared on Gelongma's big toe. The bump continued to grow until the whole body was consumed by it. She suffered from leprosy, which in the past was an incurable disease. She kept her illness a secret from people, and she believed that she suffered that disease for all the sentient beings so that they don't have to suffer in the future. Sampelma, her escort, her friend, offered her services to Gelongma in every way she could. After 3 months of contamination, Gelongma's toe was fully infected and the toes fell off. After 5 months of contamination, her fingers fell off as well. She felt immense pain, and Sampelma, seeing her friend in great pain, she suffered emotionally as well. Even though the illness was kept a secret, the extreme smell of blood and pus could not be hidden, so the people found out. When the people found out, they asked layman Gelongma and her friend Sampelma to leave the place. Gelongma and Sampelma embarked on their journey. Far from Bikshir Tsulakang, the two friends took rest in a cave when they met some few businessmen. And the businessman was from Kashmir, from her hometown. So she inquired about her family. And Gelongma Palmo felt very heartbroken when she heard that her parents have passed away. And her teacher, who was also passed away and who was in Nirvana. Her brother, who attained Buddhahood and flew to Zahor. So she felt all this pain when she heard all the news from all the loved ones. When she heard the news, she had that powerful will to follow the path of Dharma and become stronger and fulfill all the dreams that she desired. Gelongma then decided to go to the north. Their destination place looked like paradise. The sun started shining when Gelongma arrived, which gave her great joy as she thought it was a good omen for Buddha Dharma to flourish and shine bright like the sun. Gelongma made a final request to Sampelma to build a small house for her. After the house was completed, she asked Sampelma to leave and live her own life. Sampelma, disheartened and reluctant, she returned to her village, heartbroken. Gelongma meditated every day. She sat with her legs folded in the lotus position, her back straight, visualizing Avalokitesvara, we call it Chandrisi, the Buddha of compassion, and chanted the heart mantra. On the 21st day after chanting, she dozed off for a while and was on the verge of stopping the chant. In her vision, she saw a young boy holding a glass rooster beads on his right hand, on his left holding a lotus. He told Gelongma if she wanted the blessing of Avalokitesvara in this life, then she should go to Linkar Tsedubthagang. If she is able to make the 7-month journey, she would be able to meet the 11-faced one. Gelongma decided to go. Gelongma suffered along the way as she dragged her disease-ridden body, and she was on the verge of giving up when she reached Pengkomo, nearly passing out from the pain. But she saw 5 beautiful dakinis, and that 5 dakinis helped her and took her to the 11-faced one. Gelongma went inside the temple to pay her respect and homage. The custodian of the temple came inside to offer water and incense, but as he saw Gelongma, he got angry and accused her of making such a pure place dirty with her presence. He hit her with his keys and dragged her by her leg and took her behind the temple. Gelongma knew it's not his fault for being ignorant and did not react. Instead, she wished to take all the ignorant people out of samsara. Gelongma thought to herself, it doesn't matter if she sat in the front or at the back, inside or outside the temple. All that mattered was her devotion. The Buddha of compassion would always look upon all the sentient beings with compassion. Hence, she continued her fasting ritual practice behind the temple. For 7 months, she prayed and practiced with undying devotion. Then one day, the temple that she practiced changed the direction towards her. When she practiced, she was at the back, so the temple changed the direction, so it became the front of the temple. In that moment, Gelongma realized that one does not have to go in front of the Buddha to chant the mantra, or it doesn't matter if one does not have anything to offer to the Buddha. What mattered was to chant the mantra with full devotion. There was nothing precious than devotion. She prayed to Buddha of compassion to look after the sentient beings and to take them to the Buddha land. With her Bodhisattva mind, devotion, and practice, she got liberated. After a year, Sampelma went to visit Gelongma at the last place she left her. When she saw rainbows, and in between she saw Gelongma, with so much beauty and charm. Sampelma was so curious and shocked to see her friend, and she asked so many questions, and Gelongma answered all. Gelongma told Sampelma the doctor who cured her disease was the Buddha of compassion, and the medicine that she took was the 6-syllable mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, that healed her. Gelongma said the heart mantra might be a very short mantra, but it is a very powerful and a special mantra. If you have love and compassion towards all sentient beings, then that itself is Avalokiteswara. The stupas, paintings that we see today are not the real Buddha, but just a replica for the people, so that they have something to worship and pay refuge to. Gelongma spent her life teaching Dharma to sentient beings, and many within a lifetime got liberated. Her childhood friend Sampelma also got liberation. So this is the life of Gelongma Palmo, the founder of the fasting ritual lineage, in a nutshell, because of the time constraint, I'm so sorry. And she teaches us that within each one of us is the will to win as well as the willingness to lose. To put it in another way, the determination to face life or the fear to turn away from it. Life is not always easy. There are difficulties, storms of any kind that brings loss, setbacks, sadness, heartache, and disappointments of every kind. But every storm and every difficulty can also teach us to be strong. We must stand and face the storms that difficulties life throws at us. With this, we will be able to attain anything one wishes or hope for. I hope my presentation was informative, and this is all I have. Thank you.